So what is our understanding on lean? Lean is all about elimination of, you forgot, you are learning elimination of wasteful activities, right? So I will help you understand what is a wasteful activity and what is a useful activity. Useful activity means value adding. Wasteful activity means non-value adding. For example, inside the training program, we gave you 15 minutes tea break. That 15 minutes tea break, is it a value adding or non-value adding?
Non-value adding.
Non-value adding, right? Because from the customer viewpoint, you are paying for each and every minute, isn't it? You are paying for each and every single hour, but 15 minutes are allotted for the tea break. So we should, as a customer, you think that the tea break time is non-value adding. The moment, always you must think from the customer point of view. But then why we had tea break every single day? Because it is a process requirement. If we keep on talking to you for 4 hours continuously, you will get tired, you will get bored, isn't it? You will lose interest. So process requires it. And that's why we are giving only 10 to 15 minutes. If I give a tea break of 2 hours, will you like it? So always any work which your customer feels as non-value adding, your goal should be to keep it minimum. Your goal should be keep it minimum. When you don't understand that, no, you will lose your business. So value adding and non-value adding, and then I will help you understand how Kaizen, what is Kaizen, one of the lean tool, and then what is 5S. Right. Generally, any activity for which customer is willing to pay. When customer is willing to pay for a particular activity, that is called value adding. You are paying only for the training time, isn't it? Not for the tea time. So that clarity should be there. An activity is considered value adding if it brings the product closer to the final form. For example, when we explain you the define phase, you understand a certain portion of the DMAC first phase. And then when we complete the measure phase, you understand another portion. Then same way it goes. But during the tea break, do you understand anything? Nothing. So any work when you are doing, if it pushes your product to become a final one, anything you do, if it pushes your product and helps to become a final product, that is called value adding. If that is not happening, that is non-value adding only. For example, you are doing an inspection in your company. If you do an inspection, do you think that will make your product move to the second stage? Product will remain as it is, isn't it? Product will remain as it is, but you are only checking whether it is good or bad. So inspection from lean perspective is a non-value adding activity. Anything which is non-value adding, if you can't eliminate it, do minimum. That is why inspection, you have to do minimum, not too much of inspection. If you are doing 100% inspection, then you have a long way to go. Your processes are not that much capable. That is why you are doing 100% inspection. Similarly, inventory is also a wasteful activity. So do you think your customer will pay for your inventory charges? You can't charge your customer for your warehouse rent and all. That you have to bear. So whenever customer is not willing to pay, you can understand that is non-value adding. And also the last statement, anything you do right at the first time, that is value adding. Anything you do it wrongly and then correct it, then that is, anything you do it wrongly, that is also a non-value adding. So there are 3 things required to consider a work as a value adding. Customer should be willing to pay for the work what you are doing. And number 2, any work you are doing, it should push your product towards the final state. And anything you do, you must try to do it right at the first time. If any one of the thing you fail to do, please understand what you are doing is non-value adding. That means what you are doing is a wasteful activity. So, and again, wasteful activity can be of 2 categories. One is eliminatable. Eliminatable means definitely not required. For example, defect is a wasteful activity. Can you eliminate the defects completely? Yes, you eliminate it. Nobody is going to question you. So eliminatable waste, you eliminate it fully. But there are certain tasks you can't eliminate. For example, our tea time, I can't eliminate it because it is a process requirement. Similarly, inspection, I can't eliminate. So whichever you can't eliminate, then you must reduce. There are two solutions to the waste. What is the first solution? Try to eliminate. If elimination is not possible, try to reduce. Understanding these principles will help you to identify lot of improvement projects in any company. Clear? So when you do all these things, you will start approaching a stage called excellence. So the work without eliminating or without reducing the non-value adding. Do you see how you are currently performing your work? Your work starts here, it ends here. But when you apply the lean principles, what is that lean principle? Eliminate the wasteful activities or reduce the wasteful activities. Now, do you see how your process is improved? Earlier stage, it required 2 hours for you to complete the work. Now it takes only 20 minutes. What are the yellow color bars here represent? Green represents value adding. Yellow represents
non-value adding.
Why is it staying here? Because
it is a process requirement.
Because I cannot eliminate it. It is a process requirement. So I keep the bare minimum. And so, but anyway, can you see my process simplified to a great extent? When the process is taking 2 hours, a lot of resources required, manpower required, energy required, so many machinery required. But when I simplify the process, what 10 people were doing, now one fellow can do. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So Lean's principles are customer focus, because when customer says it is value adding, then it is value adding. When customer says non-value adding, then it is non-value adding. For example, if all of you say, sir, please don't teach correlation in yellow belt, then what should we do? We should remove the correlation from yellow belt, because customer don't want it. When customer doesn't want it, our goal should be eliminated. Clear? But when it is a customer requirement, then no other option, you have to do it. And data-driven decision. The lean also demands for data. Without using data, whatever approach you name it, in my opinion, that will definitely lead to a flop. You must use data, and data when you collect, you should learn to collect data without error. And lean is respecting people. From operator till your CEO, you must respect everyone. Any problem happens, generally everybody thinks that people create problem. No, people are not creating problem. Only your process create problem, your system create problem. So you must always focus on correcting the system by correcting the process. If you try to correct the people, you will never improve, right? So that is also one of the lean principle. And any result, or when any result you wanted to achieve, make sure you set SMART goals. You know what is SMART goal? S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for relevant, T stands for time bounded. If these principles are not applied, your goal is not a goal and it will never be achieved, right? If you can't use numbers while setting a goal, nobody is going to achieve. Only when numbers are fixed, then only it can be realized. For example, the training program yellow belt, we told 12 hours. And so the program will happen in 12 hours. If we don't say 12 hours, sir, the training is for 3 days, then people will simply will not have the clarity where to start and where to end. So always numbers are required. That is what we call it specific. And accountable. Company practicing lean, you can see everything documented properly. When you come to my cabin, you will see my name, you will see my designation, you will see my responsibility, everything well documented, transparent, and then whatever I am responsible for, easily that can be traced. For example, a particular product is supplied to Japan or supplied to some other country, and some problem happens after 3 years. Now the complaint comes from particular country, let's say Sweden. The product you supplied to Sweden, there is a major problem. And now your Sweden client is raising, complaint. And now you should be able to track who manufactured the product, which particular plant of your company manufactured the product, which was supplied to Sweden. And then, wow, who supplied the raw material for that? Do you have all the details available with you? Isn't it? So that is called accountability. And the concepts like my machine, my zone, in 5S, you have zones, isn't it? One of you may be the zone leader for a particular section, and then you are responsible for upkeeping of the zone. So the concepts like my machine, my zone, and the traceability of information, these are all called accountability. So Lean is a journey towards excellence. You must respect all these principles and practice. There are a lot of Lean tools, but we will be touching few things. Already I talked about the 8 waste, and now Kaizen and 5S I will try to touch. So Lean is all about simplifying the work. What it is telling you, eliminate the task that do not add value. Eliminate the task that do not add value. Make things easy and intuitive for customer. For example, when we do GEMS experiment, you grasp it very quickly. Am I right? The sigma level calculation with the GEMS, you grasp it very easily. But rather, I can also teach it theoretically. You will never understand what is that I'm speaking. And I played a song to help you understand repeatability and reproducibility. So make things easy. People will perform effortlessly. So same way, you can make everyone in your company produce fantastic results, without putting much effort. Then whose job it is to simplify the work? It is your job. Since if you don't understand, simply complicate the work, what will happen? All your team member will fail to produce the result. And also, Lean suggests you to automate the repetitive task. Automate the repetitive task. Doing the same task repeatedly, what will happen? People will get tired very fast, isn't it? So you have to automate and try to leverage the staff's talent. If you have learned some good philosophies here, some good learning happened here, go back and share with your colleagues in the company. That is always a good approach. So these are all some of the Lean practices. So unnecessary transportation, unnecessary inventory, excessive motion, excessive or unnecessary waiting, over processing, over production, defects, underutilized skill. These are the 8 waste. Transportation, we spoke, moving the material between your shop floor and warehouse, unnecessary transportation, carrying the material, carrying the people in some vehicle, maybe a truck or a mini truck, driving your truck within your plant. That also you must do it in an optimized way. And also inventory, raw material, semi-finished, finished, all the inventory are waste. Excessive motion. Machine movement also you have to move it only minimum. The shaper arm. Shaper generally the arm will move forward and come backward. Am I right? The shaper machine will have an arm that will move forward and come backward. Similarly, in a slotting machine, the arm will move downward and upward. Am I right? So when you set the movement of that kind of the arm, whatever required, that much only you must give. To machine a small component, 50 mm movement is required, but you are setting it to move for 200 mm. Now what is that you are causing? Motion waste. Instead of moving 50 mm, you are moving 200 mm. Now who will pay for the extra 150 mm? Nobody is going to pay, isn't it? Your company is going to lose. So customer also is not going to pay. So you have to understand what are all the ways you are losing your money. And waiting is a waste. Waiting for material, waiting for the machine to become productive, or waiting for the operator to come, or waiting for the instruction to come, waiting for the approval to come, all of them are waste. Over processing. What is over processing? Going more than the requirement. You are ordering for ghee roast. I know you will like the ghee roast. So I put excessive ghee. Will you like it now? Now it is now the dosa is wasted. Same way, there is a requirement. You go only up to that. Painting, 2 coats are required. If you give the 3rd coat, that is called what? Over processing. Surface finish, 100 micron required. If you go beyond that, then that's a over processing. Over production. cooking your breakfast on the previous day. How many of you cook your breakfast on the previous day? None of you do it, isn't it? You want the breakfast to be served fresh. Same way customer deserves a freshly produced product to be delivered. If you don't understand, no, your competitor will outperform you. And defects, a product having any non-conformance, anything which not in line with the customer requirement, that is called defect. And also skills, underutilized skill is another waste. Okay, and all the 8 we have discussed. Kaizen. See, Kaizen is nothing but continuous improvement. It's a Japanese word. K stands for continuous. K stands for change. Gen stands for better. Changing for the betterment. And when I say Kaizen, it doesn't mean doing a project for 6 months and project for 1 year. Something that can be done within a week. A small improvement project. A machine is continuously leaking. Instead of cleaning it every day, can you fix it at the root? Why it is leaking? Oh, that particular, the oil container, there is a crack. So fix it. So small improvement improvement projects are called Kaizen project. According to Kaizen approach, there are no big problems in any company. Big problems comes because of lots of small problems. Day 1, day 2, day 3. We learned a lot of small concepts. Am I right? We learned day 1, we learned certain things. Day 2, we learned certain things. Day 3, we learned certain things. But as a result, you have become, a very good, problem solving expert. Same way, a big problem happens only because of small problem. If you don't arrest the leakage, what will happen? This will lead to some other big problem. So solving all the problem when it is small, that approach is called Kaizen. And in any company, there are let us say hundreds of big problems. If hundreds of big problems are there, how many small problems will be there? Thousands of small problems will be there. When there are thousands of small problems, how can a small team of quality department can solve all the thousands of problems? Every individual working in the company should solve at least one problem every single month. This approach is called what? Kaizen. Do you have an infrastructure? Do you really motivate your people to do at least one improvement project every month? Every month we are taking salary. But are we doing one small improvement every single month? Is that your company promotes such a culture? Do you have a mechanism to listen to each and every employee? Whether he is a security fellow or he is your CEO, is he actually giving some contribution every month? If such a culture is created, if such mechanism is there, that means Kaizen is in place. Now let us do a small Kaizen. In order to do a small Kaizen, I want all of you to participate. Take a piece of paper and a pen, and as usual, be on video. I will give an activity now. I will give an activity which all of you have to understand and then do it. The activity is for 45 seconds, I will show some numbers and some symbol. What you need to do is you just have to memorize. Once you memorize, and then I will ask you to write. So what is the first step? You have to memorize. Second step, you have to write it down. But don't be over smart. Don't directly write it. First step only I am asking you to do for 45 seconds. Shall I show the numbers and symbols? Can I get a yes?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. 45 seconds for you. Are you ready? Ready, right?
Yes, sir.
Now I give you 30 seconds. Within 30 seconds, try to write down whatever possible. Now time is yours. Done?
Done. Yes.
Okay. So 30 seconds over. All of you can stop writing.
Yes.
Now do a self-assessment. Number and symbol should match. If you have one and the symbol, put a tick mark. One pair of number and symbol will get you 1 mark. Now correct yourself and tell me how much mark you scored. Each one of you can tell your mark. Okay, Joy scored 5 out of 10.
6.
8.
Who scored 6? Okay, Harshit got 6.
Yes.
Um,
Got 8.
Vignesh got 8.
So Mayank also 6.
Mayank also got 6. Very good.
10. 10.
Okay,
10.
I also 5.
5. All right. Who got? Anybody got 10 out of 10?
10. 10, sir.
Who got 10? Darshan. Huh?
Darshan.
Wow, beautiful. But when you have such a list, such a set of team member, people know somebody performs 5 and below, and somebody is going up to the maximum 10 out of 10, like Darshan. And now you are reporting to your boss, isn't it? You have a team of 20 people, and all of them are doing the same work, but one is doing very well and another one is doing badly. Now, who is responsible for the variation? As a manager, you are responsible. Am I right? All of you understand what I'm talking?
Yes, sir.
Always what is required is the performance without variation. But now your mark is varying from 5 to 10, isn't it? Now this is not preferred in any scenario. So why all of you are struggling to score like Darshan? Only Darshan could score 10. What was the problem? Can you tell me, somebody?
Mirror images.
The work assigned to you was complex. It was difficult. You found it difficult. Am I right? Only one out of the whole team could find it easier, which is Darshan. That's a clear evidence that the process is very complex. Now, what I will do is I will simplify the process and then we'll ask you to do it again. Do you see the number and symbol again?
Yes.
Now, do you find it easy?
Yes.
It is the same work. It is the same work, but now you are able to do it easier. So these kind of simple changes, you have to do it in your company. Your operators will definitely improve their result. If you have 24 people working under you, all 24 people will work like that. What is your job? You have to simplify the job. Now that I have simplified, now tell me, can all of you score 10 out of 10?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Earlier, I gave you 30 seconds. Now tell me, how do you really require 30 seconds to memorize this?
No.
So in less time, you can make your people produce more results. That is the power of lean principles, lean tools and techniques, right? I'm not going to test it again because we don't have that much time. And still, if some of you find it difficult, still, I will further simplify. Now it is the same numbers. Same symbols. Now, how much time you may require to memorize this?
10 seconds.
What you have been struggling to do in 30 seconds, you are now confidently saying you will do it in 10 seconds. And now I am also sure all of you will score 10 out of 10 now. Not only Darshan, isn't it? Each one of you will now score 10 out of 10. How it is made possible? I have simplified the work. So simplifying the work is nothing but lean. So eliminate the unnecessary activity. What is the unnecessary activity in this exercise?
Arranging the words.
Storing the number and the symbol in a particular order in your brain was difficult. Since storing was difficult, retrieval also become difficult. In your company, what are you doing? You are storing materials. You are storing tools. You are retrieving the material. You are retrieving the tools. You are storing the products. You are retrieving the products. Can you make the storage and retrieval easier? That is called what? 5S. That is called what? 5S. Store it in a proper order, like library. In library, when you go to any library, the books are arranged in a particular order. People quickly picks up the book, comes out, isn't it? There are 1 lakh books. The book what you want, you get it in just less than a minute. Can you arrange the items in your company also in that fashion? That is called 5S. All of you understand what is Kaizen now? Any improvement, right? And what is Kaizen in a industrial scenario? Any improvement is a Kaizen. If you implement Kaizen effectively, even people having some physically challenged people, visually challenged people can work in your company. Can work your company, can produce productive result. If physically challenged and visually challenged people can work and produce productive result, all of you can give magical results to your company. What is required is a proper attitude towards improvement.
The Japanese word that simply means to do something better. Our workers on the shop floor are always thinking of ways to improve the workflow, revising procedures so they take 2 steps instead of 3, or need 5 seconds instead of 10. Many tiny improvements add up to give a big result. That's Kaizen. The idea of Kaizen began in automobile plants about 70 years ago. Workers sharing their knowledge to revise and improve work procedures made a great contribution during the years of Japan's rapid economic growth, and the Kaizen philosophy is still firmly embedded in Japanese industry.
Simplify the work for your employees. They will, assure you, deliver you great results. All right. So I stop here. Maybe now we will move on to